Yes, students, in previous class we had already discussed about the limitation of Rutherford model. Okay, he introduced the when the electrons are revolve around the nucleus, it release or radiate the energy. You know it. Okay, if the electron release the energy, so then at a one time it fall in the nucleus. Means we can say he could not explain the stability of a atom. After that, okay, Bohr model is here. Okay, Neil Bohr is a scientist, okay, who works on a atomic structure of this model and work on the limitation of a Rutherford. According to the Bohr, okay, it works on a concept of quantum. It works on a concept of quantum, and he gave three basic hypotheses, or we can say postulates. Okay, according to the Bohr, he say, okay, at a center nucleus in the center of a atom and a positive charge present in the nucleus and electrons are revolve around the nucleus. Means electrons are revolve in a circular orbit. Okay, he say electrons are revolve in the circular orbit. If the circular electrons are revolve in a circular orbit, so that's mean centripetal force is required for the revolution. Means we can say provided by the electrostatic force attraction between the electrons and the nucleus. Okay, I repeat, he say, okay, in a center of an atom is a nucleus and electrons are revolve around the nucleus, and in a nucleus the positive charge are present. Means we can say protons are present, and centripetal force is required by the electrostatic force, okay, between the nucleus and electrons. Okay, so according to the centripetal force, okay, mathematically formula F is equal to mv square upon r, and according to the Coulomb's law, in first chapter we had already discussed, okay, q1 product of the charges, okay, to the 4 pi epsilon naught into r square. So 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, you know, it is equal to the k. Okay, so we can say, okay, Coulomb's, according to the Coulomb's law, electrostatic force between the electron and nucleus is equal to k z e square upon r square. Why we take z e square? It's mean z is the magnitude, okay, and q1 is the e, or again, you know, q2 is equal to the e, because the all electrons are here, okay, in the revolution around the nucleus. Okay, so now according to from 1 and 2, we can say mb square r is equal to kze square upon r square. Okay, it is the first hypothesis, and in a second hypothesis, it's a most important hypothesis, okay, or we can say postulates out of all orbits in classic mechanics, sorry, electrons are exist in only these orbit in which angular momentum become integer multiple of nh2 by 2 pi. According to that, okay, इलेक्ट्रॉन उस ऑर्बिट से एग्जिस्ट करेगा जिसका एंगुलर मोमेंटम इक्वल टू किसके होगा, मल्टीपल ऑफ NH बाय 2 पाई. ओके, अकॉर्डिंग टू रदरफोर्ड की इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर radiate or release the energy when it revolve around the nucleus, but he say, okay, electrons do not release the energy. इलेक्ट्रॉन एनर्जी रिलीज नहीं करेगा. ओके, वो किस ऑर्बिट से एग्जिस्ट होगा जिसका एंगुलर मोमेंटम इज इक्वल टू इंटीजर मल्टीपल ऑफ NH by 2 pi होगा. अकॉर्डिंग टू द एंगुलर मोमेंटम, यू नो एंगुलर मोमेंटम इज इक्वल टू r vector cross p. Okay, r is the, you know, the radius, okay, and P we can say the momentum. So when we remove the cross product, so we take a sine theta. L is equal to RP sine theta. If the sine theta is equal to a, okay, 0, so that's mean we can say sine 0 is equal to 1, okay, so L is equal to RP into 1, 1 is not a matter, so that's mean we can write only L is equal to RP, okay, and according to the angular momentum, you know, L, okay, momentum is equal to mb, okay, so we can take L is equal to mb into R, okay, so according to this hypothesis, we can put the value, okay, mvr is equal to nh by 2 pi, जिस ऑर्बिट का एंगुलर मोमेंटम nh बाय 2 पाई के इक्वल होगा, उसी ऑर्बिट से इलेक्ट्रॉन क्या है, एग्जिस्ट करेगा, ओके, एनर्जी रिलीज नहीं करेगा, जस्ट एग्जिस्ट करेगा, जिसका एंगुलर मोमेंटम, ओके, n इज द multiple integer, okay, magnitude, and h is where h is the Planck's constant, okay, you know 2 and pi is the constant value, okay. Third hypothesis is the stationary orbit, okay, the stationary orbit in which the electrons are revolve or no energy emit, okay, and the revolution of electron is a stationary revolution. And next point is the if electrons transmit higher to lower energy level, okay, energy, if the electron higher to lower energy level means we can say, okay, it is a KLM, okay, KLM shell, or we can say orbit, okay. If the electron transmit, okay, L to K higher to lower orbit, so that's mean it always radiate the energy in the form of a frequency. यहाँ पे उसने क्या किया था, इसको प्रूव किया था, ओके, एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू द रदरफोर्ड उस पॉइंट को, ओके, देयर वन इज द वर्क ऑन इट, एंड ही सेड कि इफ द इलेक्ट्रॉन, okay, transmit from higher to lower energy level, so then it always radiation, or we can say radiate the energy in the form of frequency, so that's mean, okay, hf next one, okay, means frequency is equal to ei minus ek. Ei means we can say initial energy and k is the final energy, and if the energy level, okay, if the electron transmit lower to high means k to L, so then the frequency is equal to ei plus ek, means initially energy level to plus final energy level, okay. It is about the Bohr model. Okay, students, now next thing is the find the radius and energy derivation, okay, means find the radius and energy of a atom. How we find with the, okay, smallest derivation to generate or create a formula, okay. So first thing, according to the, you know, charge at nucleus Q is equal to Ne. N is the magnitude, we take N is equal to Ze, so you can say, okay, you can write, sorry, Q is equal to Ze, okay. Now according to the first hypothesis of the Bohr model, centripetal force is equal to the Columbian force. If I talk about the centripetal force, okay, so we can write mv square upon r. In 11th grade, I think motion in not a motion, in Newton's law या laws of motion में आपने जो centripetal force, okay, and centrifugal force के बारे में किया था. Centripetal force, okay, just basically okay, the force towards the center, okay, it is a mv square upon r, and Columbian force Q1, okay, force is directly proportional to the product of the two charges and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them, where K is the, okay, Coulomb's constant, Now put the value is k in the next step mb square upon r, as it we can write, and q1 q2 at the place of k we put 4 pi epsilon naught into r square. Okay, again mb square upon r, where q1 and q2 we take a q is ze, so we can write ze into e is equal to ze square upon 4 pi epsilon naught into r. Okay, we put, okay, suppose it is the first value. Okay, we take a, it is the first, mb square upon r is equal to ze square upon 4 pi epsilon naught into r square. Okay, now according to the second hypothesis of a Bohr model, electron is exist in which orbit the angular momentum is equal to the integer multiple of a h by 2 pi. Okay, so L is equal to, you know, mbr is equal to nh upon 2 pi. Why we choose this hypothesis? Because we take a velocity, v की value find करनी है यहाँ पे. Okay, तो now make a base b. Okay, when we make a base v, so that's mean nh mr is cross multiply, so we can take v is equal to nh upon 2 pi mr. Okay, because you know m and r, when it is in cross multiply, b is base nh by 2 pi mr. Okay, now put this the value of b. Okay, put the value of b in first equation. mn, okay, क्या है mb square, m and r, okay, we write as it. Okay, m and r we write as it. Next thing, at the place of v we take a n h whole square, so that's mean n square h square upon 2 pi square है, v square यहाँ पे v square है, तो that's mean square root होगा all things का 2 का 4 pi square m square into r square. Okay, again m n square h square upon 4 pi square m square r square is equal to ze square upon 4 pi epsilon naught into r square. Now cutting, 4 से 4 cancel, pi से this square root cancel, and r square से r square cancel, m से this square root cancel, and now we have only n square h square upon m into r, and pi also, sorry, mr pi. Now is equal to here ze square upon epsilon naught. Now from this we make a base r. When we make a base r, so then n square h square epsilon naught upon ze square into pi m. Okay, this one is the formula to find the radius of a atom. Okay, r is equal to n square h square epsilon naught upon ze square into pi m. So we can say r is directly proportional to the magnitude n square of magnitude upon e. Okay, and next thing is related to the energy. Is it clear till a radius? So next we will continue. Okay, velocity, to find the velocity with this derivation. Okay, again you can check centripetal force is equal to Colombian force. Okay, from that we take a one equation is here, and then according to the hypothesis, second hypothesis of a Bohr model, so then we make a base b, and this b, okay, value of b put in this equation. From this, okay, we generate a r is equal to n square h square epsilon naught upon ze square into pi m. means we can say R is directly proportional to n square.